Welcome to the Rent to Rent Success podcast, the only podcast entirely dedicated to helping you achieve rent to rent success. We talk about the ethical way to get you started in property without buying it. This is our place to inspire each other to believe bigger, to be bolder, and to be game changers for good. Property investors and sisters Stephanie and Nicky Taylor are your guides on this exciting ride. Let's start up the engines and get ready to fly. Hello, hello, hello. It's Stephanie here and welcome to episode 1 of Ask the Angels, where we answer your rent-to-rent questions. And we've had a great question here today from Sean. And Sean wants to know what to do about letting agents' fees. This is Sean's question.
Working with agents and agreeing on still paying them their commissions should we manage a property through them. I'm just about sort of in the dark of what that commission would be. I don't know. Is it the normal fee that they would have been paid from a landlord, i.e. that 50% plus VAT, or is it something of a lower fee that we would agree between them? So if you could clear that one up for me, that would be great. Thank you. Bye-bye.
That is a great question. And I know that letting agent fees is something that causes a lot of confusion. Do we, as the rent-to-renter, pay the letting agent fees, or does the landlord pay the letting agent fees? And if we pay the fees, how much to pay? So I'm going to go back a step because I know that what confuses people some of the time is how do letting agents work? So before I dive into talking about the fees and the commissions, I just want to take a step back and explain how letting agents work so that you've got that in place first, and then I'll explain about the commissions. So there are two main ways that letting agents work. The first is fully managed with a monthly service fee. For example, a recurring monthly fee of 10% plus VAT on the rents received. So here's a typical arrangement of what that looks like working with a letting agent, and they're fully managing the property. So you as the rent-to-renter are the tenant. You pay the agent the rent as normal. The agent keeps whatever fee they've agreed with the landlord, so it could be 10% plus VAT, and then the agent pays the remaining rent to the landlord. And the agent will organise repairs and the landlord will pay for them. So that's a typical way that it works on fully managed properties. So in that scenario, you don't pay a fee. You don't pay a fee to the letting agents unless you want to. But the standard way is that the fee will be coming from the landlord. So you just pay the rent. If the rent is £1,000, you pay £1,000. The agent keeps their commission, say £100, and passes the other £900 on to the landlord. So when it's fully managed under standard circumstances, you don't pay a fee to the letting agent. So it just means that the letting agent gets their fees as normal, but you're not the one paying. The second arrangement that letting agents work is tenant find only. And this is where the landlord will pay the agent a one-off fixed fee, for example, 50% of the first month's rent plus VAT. And that's what the landlord pays to the letting agent. So here's a typical arrangement if you work with a letting agent, which is tenant find only. So you are the tenant, then the landlord pays the agent an agreed one-off fee for finding a tenant and doing the paperwork, e.g. 50% of the first month's rent, as we said. Then the agent introduces you to the landlord and you deal with the landlord directly after that. The agent receives that one-off fee from the landlord and then doesn't receive any ongoing fees. You pay your rent direct to the landlord. and you will organise repairs and pay for minor repairs, and the landlord will pay for other repairs. And those are the typical arrangements for tenant find only. So with tenant find only, the landlord is paying the agent a one-off fee, but also you can also choose to pay the agent a one-off fee in either circumstance to incentivize letting agents to work with you. And that is allowable under the tenant fees ban because you're not an AST tenant. So that is how it works. And if you're in Kickstarter, you'll see even more details in M4.7 of the program. So I want to summarize the fees that you pay. If it's a fully managed property, the monthly commission is paid by the landlord. You do not need to pay a fee to the agent. If the rent is £1,000, you pay the agent £1,000. The agent will then keep their fee and pay the landlord the rest. If it's tenant find only, you can, if you agree it, pay a one-off fee to the agent if you've agreed to do so. And as I said, this fee is allowable under the tenant fee ban because you're not a short hold tenancy tenant. And the landlord will also usually pay a fee to the agent. So the question that Sean asked was, how much of a fee? So if you're choosing to pay, or you agree with the agent to pay a one-off tenant find, property finder's fee, what do you pay? Now, the amount can vary, and it's good to ask the agent what they would like. We've in the past paid £300, and that was a number that the agent came up with, which we were also happy with, because that was actually for two properties. One cash flowed us over £600 a month and the other over £400 a month. So it was well worth our while to pay that one-off fee to the agent. So that is how it works with the agent fees. I hope that was helpful. And if you have a question that you would love us to answer on this slot, just simply go to renttoRentSuccess.com/ask and ask your own question like Sean did, and we will record an answer for you for a future episode. Okay, thanks. See you soon. And until next time, remember, believe bigger, be bolder, be a game changer. See you soon. Thank you so much for being with me here today. If you would like more, we've written the #1 best-selling book on rents to rent. You can find it at renttoRentSuccess.com/book. Reviewers on Amazon have described it as the best rent-to-rent HMO book, and also as a definitive reference guide and inspirational. Take your next step today and buy the book. You can find it at renttoRentSuccess.com/book. And I'll see you again next time. Until then, remember, believe bigger, be bolder, be a game changer.